Welcome to the Intuitive Therapist Podcast with Janis R. Cohen, therapist, clairvoyant, empath, and medium. Listen in as she takes a no-nonsense deep dive into real human struggles and how to resolve them. Janis will share channeled information from her spirit guide team, as well as the angels and archangels, to help you master your emotional, physical, financial, and spiritual destiny. And now, Janis R. Cohen.
Hey y'all, this is Janis Cohen, the Intuitive Therapist here on the Intuitive Therapist Podcast. Welcome back to another week. Y'all, I have to tell you, Spirit has been guiding me big time about what to share with you. And I'll tell you what, I'm very excited about this episode. I'm very excited about the next episode. They're different than anything that's ever come through. And I'm just so excited to share all this wisdom with you. So today we're diving deep into a question that so many people ask me. How do I know if I'm being nudged by spirit? Like, how do I know spirit's communicating with me? So the question is it just my mind playing tricks on me? Or is there really something for real happening? So, if you have ever had an unshakable feeling, like a persistent thought or an unexpected event that seemed to push you in a certain direction, you might have been experiencing a spiritual nudge. So, in today's episode, we're going to explore what these nudges are, how to recognize them, and how to distinguish them from the voice of the ego. This is huge because I want you to understand what that is. Plus, I'm going to guide you through a short meditation at the end. So if you're driving, you can listen to it, but just, don't do it while you're driving, but find a quiet time to just listen to the end of this episode today. So the meditation is going to help you experience what it feels like to receive a divine nudge for yourself if you have a question around that, okay? So settle in and let's begin. Now, what is a spiritual nudge? Let's start there. So a spiritual nudge, to me, it's really an intuitive push from the universe, your higher self, or divine intelligence. Some people call this spirit, God, the light, whatever you want to call it. And you may say, okay, well, is the universe, is spirit, is my higher self, aren't those different things? No, right? So your higher self is your soul, right? It's the essence of who you are that knows everything. And the essence of who you are that knows everything is also God, because we're all made in the image of God, okay? So again, you want to call spirit, God, the light, whole, whatever it is, all of that is the same thing. And so a spiritual nudge really it's like a whisper of truth in your heart. It's like the pull towards an unexplored path or the sudden insight that changes everything. It's like an aha. And it can be subtle or it can be a major aha. Now, for months, I have been feeling pulled. Just keep this nudge, the nudge to grow my YouTube channel. Simply because it's like I'm not bound by 90 seconds on Instagram, although I'm not going to neglect that channel. But I like to talk. I like to share. And I am somebody, A, I don't like authority. And B, I don't like to be caged in. So I want to be able to talk for as long as I want to be able to talk. And Instagram doesn't offer that to me, but YouTube does. So if you didn't realize that I had a YouTube channel for this podcast, I do. And there are, of course, several tabs. One is for the podcast episodes. And then you'll notice there are videos and all sorts of other things. So I'd love to encourage you to subscribe because I'm going to be doing additional concepts, commentary. I'm going to be pulling cards. I'm going to be channeling. I'm going to be doing some live stuff there, offering some new content material. So it's going to be different than this. But the podcast has been fantastic. I love it. But also, I'm ready to engage with people. I'm ready for people to see me. And so I have decided to kind of move in that direction and follow that nudge finally. So for months, I'd been pulled towards this, right? I didn't know necessarily what that meant or what I was supposed to do or how I was supposed to start it, but it's gnawed at me for months. So finally, like I said, I made a video and just uploaded it, and I did the thing. I did it messy. I had no idea what I was doing, and I just did it, right? That's how we roll. We get a nudge and we move. And it felt incredibly aligned with where I'm going in my life and with what I'm doing. So the content of it felt easy. But for me, the nudge felt like a constant reminder of an idea. Like, Janice, don't forget, go ahead and do that YouTube thing. Janice, do the YouTube thing. You should really do the YouTube thing. YouTube, YouTube, YouTube. That's what it felt like to me. Kind of like this constant, soft reminder. Do this thing, Janice. It's gonna lead you in a good direction. So if you can relate to that feeling, kind of like you feel it, I wouldn't say haunted, because that's really a negative term, but what I would say is reminded, like you can't shake an idea, that's a spiritual nudge. Now, unlike loud, forceful commands, spiritual nudges, they're gentle, often subtle, okay? They kind of just hang around. They don't demand, they invite. They don't instill fear, they awaken curiosity. They don't limit you, they expand you. And that's what this nudge felt like. It felt exciting and scary at the same time. And for some of you, you may think, well, why would you be scared to do just a YouTube video? Um, I continue to work through the fear of being persecuted that has followed me most of my life, most of my lifetimes, and of course in this lifetime, in terms of being able to speak my truth. And so I have felt heavily pushed to consistently deliver the message of being true to yourself, authenticity, and all of that. And so I'm just going to be showing up in that way. No edits, no fancy equipment, just me and you and the message. So, why do we get these spiritual nudges? Right? People say, well, why are we getting these nudges? So, Spirit's always in communication with us, but we often drown out the messages like with noise. For example, distractions. Get this one, doubt. And we let the demands of daily life get in the way. So, nudges come when maybe you're at a crossroads and need guidance. Maybe, you are experiencing or have experienced a winter period like I have. The last 2 years I have. And so over time, while I was kind of unpacking and disconnecting from the old versions of me, I would get these nudges, do this, do this, do this. So if you're going through that and you're kind of getting this idea to go in a different direction, that's a nudge. Maybe you're out of alignment with your true self. Maybe there's an opportunity for growth and transformation, right? Maybe you need protection and redirection. Maybe you're ready to take a quantum leap in your evolution. And the only way to do that and bypass the ego is for these nudges to keep coming and coming and coming and coming. Now, they can manifest in different ways. It may be that you have a deep knowing that you can't explain, but you can't ignore, right? A recurring thought, word, or symbol that keeps showing up. That's like I was just talking about. A strong emotional response. A lot of times I know when I channel spirit and truth comes through, I get goosebumps. And I get goosebumps in different parts of my body. It may be one leg, it may be the other leg, both legs, it may be arms, hands, back. But there's a sudden sense of peace or this kind of unshakable excitement, right? A synchronistic event that feels too perfect to be random, right? That can manifest. That's a spiritual nudge. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. I have to pay attention to that. A dream, a vision, or inner voice that delivers a very clear message. Go do this. Okay? Now, the difference between a spiritual nudge and the ego's voice, this is huge. I really, really want you to hear this because so many people get confused about what is ego and what's our intuition, what's a spiritual nudge, when are our guides speaking to us. And it's a very, very simple distinction. I learned this years ago, and it's helped me greatly, and I want to share it with you. Now, the ego always tries to hold you back, period, end of story. with the best of intentions to keep you safe, right? But we really only need the ego's guidance when we're in danger. And 99% of the time, we really aren't. We're not in real danger unless we're about to get into a car wreck or we're going to be, hurt in some way physically, right? Something. That's when ego is like, you need to listen to me now. But most of the time, ego is distracting. It will take you off your path. It will tell you what you can and can't do, all of that. Spirit nudges feel expansive, light, and loving. That's the difference. Even if they push you beyond your comfort zone, they carry a sense of trust. That's what I felt with going in the direction of YouTube. Ego's voice is often rooted in fear, resistance, or logic that keeps you small. It feels differently. It doesn't feel good. It makes you terrified, right? Or scared or uncomfortable. It's like, that's not Spirit's guidance. Spirit's guidance will never make you feel bad or heavy or wrong or intimidated. Ego's voice might sound like, well, don't do that because what if you fail? Or, oh, come on, that is not practical. Why would you even think of doing that? People are going to hate that. Or, you're not ready. What are you trying to be the person that wears the big pants, You can't do that now. You're not capable of that. That's ego. The ego is going to try to hijack a nudge, listen to this, by planting doubt, by keeping you stuck, or creating unnecessary fear. That's how you know. The minute you have a really exciting idea that seems kind of like in your mind, holy crap, if I could only do this, it'd be great. And ego's like, if you could only do it, like, no way, dude. There's too many risks, too many problems. You don't know how to do this, or this. No way. And the ego does this with the very best intentions, though, right? Like I said, it wants to keep you safe. But your soul needs to expand and grow. And your job is to keep focused on growth and expansion and to notice this pattern of your ego and soul being at odds and come back to trust in your higher self that it has the best intentions for you. That the reason why the idea was planted in you, in your awareness in the first place, is because it's something that you need to do. Even if you don't know how, even if you're scared shitless, even if you have no money, no resources in your mind, nothing. You just have this idea and this vision, but you have nothing else. That is intentionally for you. Make sense? Now, I'm going to give you 4 steps about how to stay open to spiritual nudges. And hopefully some of these will already register. You go, oh, yeah, I've done that. Or, I could do that. See what registers for you. First is always, number 1, quiet your mind. Now, most people say, I can't. And I'll tell you, I can't. I don't quiet. When I go into meditation, I am so aware of my thoughts. I'm aware of how my body feels. I'm aware of what this hurts, that hurts, right? So I'm not demanding my mind to actually be quiet. I'm just asking to slow it down. I am looking to, with the intention to just focus on breath. That's it. No other demands. So through meditation, maybe journaling. Journaling, I love. Y'all have talked about this a lot. Journaling is magical for me. It's a way for me to dump out my mind, to share my fears, worries, excitements, all of that, and also get a different perspective. Because I ask my team, okay, give me a different perspective on maybe this limiting belief or that idea or how to do this or why this is happening. Or simply sitting in stillness, which most of us find difficult to do. Maybe create a space to receive messages. Maybe there's a particular corner in your apartment or house or office that you can just go and be. That is a sacred space where it's almost like it's a trigger or it's the go ahead to open up and receive. You can only do it in that space. Whatever works, right? So you learn to listen to your intuition and higher mind versus ego. The second step is follow your curiosity. What excites you? What sparks your interest? Often this is a spirit nudging you forward. So paying attention to what turns you on and what gets you excited when you fantasize about the most ostentatious, amazing, brilliant, big life that you want, whether it's all the things, the yacht, the car, the house, the money, all the things, the feeling of freedom, liberation, how influential you could be, how you contribute, all of that. Pay attention to what turns you on, because that's your truth calling. We're so often caught up in meeting our obligations that we really block out the light and airy suggestions of our higher self, because our ego's like, oh, that's pie in the sky shit. What are you believing all that? Like you could ever have a yacht, like you could ever be a multimillionaire, like you could ever be a best-selling author, like you could ever have your own business and it be successful. That's ego, right? But your higher self is going to go, wonder how that's possible. Who would you need to become? Let me guide you. This is what you could do. I'm going to make this next step a feeling for you so you could do it. Take time to become curious. It's a fascinating process. The third is trust the signs. This is the piece I want to talk about a lot today, okay? Pay attention to the synchronicities and repeated messages. Synchronicities are things that, for example, they are reinforcements of ideas and nudges that you have. They will feel like, oh my God, a coincidence, or this came out of nowhere and I was just thinking this. I'll give you an example. Years ago, I was walking into a local grocery store and I had this thought about a former roommate of mine. I hadn't seen her maybe 10 years. Literally, all of a sudden I'm walking to the door and there she is walking in as well. Just out of the blue. That's a synchronicity. That lets you know universe is plugged into you and is giving you immediate feedback. It's saying, okay, this nudge that you had, this telepathy, this sense, boom, you're right. Now, trusting the signs is perhaps the toughest part, because the ego shoots in at the speed of light, I'm telling y'all, and tries to block it, tries to block the growth, and it tries to talk you out of doing things differently. You see, the ego scare tactics, they're fucking brilliant, but they don't help you live in your purpose or in alignment. In fact, they're going to try to yank you out of that. The ego is going to try to yank you out of that. So trust the nudges without question. That means that you build a muscle of your intuition, that when an idea comes to you, like, it could possibly rain in I use this example all the time because it happened to me. I remember I didn't look at the weather one day, and I saw that my little umbrella was on my kitchen table, and Spirit had me turn back like twice. I'm like, I don't need that. And then finally I walk out the door and I felt this huge urge, go back and get that umbrella. And I was like, okay, I'm not ignoring this time. I went back and got it. And it turns out that as I was walking back from where I used to work at that point, it started to rain and I had my umbrella with me. So when you learn to go with the nudges that you feeling or you see, however you get it, uh, you're going to build this muscle just like you'd be going to the gym and getting fit, right? So your nudges, they're never ever wrong, even if the outcome isn't what you wanted it to be. The intuitive nudges are never wrong. You may realize that it's pushing you up against an edge, right? And what I mean by that is a place where you either stay the same or you jump and grow, right? Where the fear and excitement meet. And while you may tend to lean back into fear because the nudge is asking you to step outside your comfort zone, trusting that whatever is being lit up inside of you is really for your greatest good. And if you can always see it that way, you're going to trust and move, trust and move, trust and move on that guidance. Now, the fourth step is taking aligned action. And this is what I was talking about. This is what I call moving. When you get a nudge, and you take action immediately. Now, a nudge without action is just potential. And when you receive guidance on, anything, if you're able to distinguish between what the ego is telling you to not do and your intuitive guidance is telling you what to do because it feels light and good and exciting and new, act on it. You're always going to reap a reward for taking action because action creates clarity. I'm going to say it again. Action creates clarity, and I want you to hear this. There's never a mistake, and you can never fuck it up. You can't screw anything up. That's your own judgment, right? That's somebody else's judgment. You can't. You either just do this thing or that thing, or this thing or that thing. There's no bad or wrong. So why not take the leap and take action on the nudges? Just for shits and giggles, start doing that, right? When I finally made the introduction video on my YouTube channel, oh, it felt so good. I was so excited. I felt like I did what stretched me just a bit. And now I'm excited to do more because I kind of crossed over this ego fear threshold. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, I like this. This feels so expansive to me. So it makes me feel more energized. And y'all, my legs, my whole body's tingling right now. And so remember when I talked about that? I know I'm on the right track. I know I'm on the right track. Okay, so what I want to share with you is a 5-minute meditation. Okay? And so if you're driving, you can listen to this, but don't do it. Or you can just shut this part off, come back to it. But if you're not, what I'd like you to do is find a place, go ahead and pause me and find a place where you can be comfortable. Maybe you want to lay down. Maybe you want to sit up. I suggest you sit up and we can move forward. So close your eyes and take a deep breath in, filling your belly and your chest and breathing it out slowly through your mouth. Take a nice deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling slowly out through your mouth, pulling your belly in. 2, 3, 4. And just breathe as you normally would. Let your body soften as you breathe. Notice the rate of breath, the rhythm of your breath. Feel your muscles becoming very heavy, kind of pulling you down. Let your mind settle as you place your feet on the ground and the palms of your hands face up on your thighs. Imagine yourself standing in a vast open field. The golden sun warming your skin, and before you, a gentle breeze, very soft, that carries whispers of wisdom that are subtle and powerful. You are very relaxed now. You connect with a current challenge or feeling that you're going through right now. In your mind, just notice what comes up for you. Something that you're going through, but you haven't figured out how to handle it, or what it means, or why it's showing up, and just let it become visible or feel it. Knowing that you've heard this voice before, meaning your intuition, and that you need to hear from it now. Take a moment and ask your intuitive self silently. Say, okay, self, spirit, show me what I need to know in general, or what I need to know about this particular thing. What do I need to know? Then wait and listen. Notice what you feel. Notice what thoughts or words come into your awareness. Notice what you might see and hear. Feeling a sense of deep peace as you stay open to receiving. Perhaps a word, a symbol, or a feeling emerges. Trust it. Let it expand. If doubt arises, just let it pass like a cloud in the sky. And repeat in your mind after me. I am open. I am ready. I trust. Keep using this meditation to gain knowledge if you didn't get clarity today. I am open. I am ready. I trust. The more you step out of the way of your higher self, the more quickly you can receive information. As you slowly return to the present moment, moving your body around where you are, know that Spirit is always guiding you through whispers, nudges, and love. As I count up to 3, open your eyes, awake, energized, and at peace. 1, 2, 3. Now, here's a final affirmation. Maybe you want to write this down, go back and listen to it, shift it, change it, adjust it to whatever resonates for you. The affirmation is this: I am open to divine guidance. I trust the whispers of Spirit. I take aligned action with confidence and clarity. Every step I take is guided. I am always supported. I hope today was helpful to you. I think this is such a fascinating topic. I love to talk about these things. And if you felt a nudge during this episode, trust it, move on it. Trust it, move on it. Because Spirit is always speaking to us through everything and everyone. And we are never doing anything alone. We are always in partnership with the universe. So if this resonated with you, please share it with somebody who might need to hear it as well. And remember, the more that we trust, the more that we receive, and the more we receive, the more guidance we get, and the more aligned actions we can take is going to lead us down the path that we're meant to be. Go ahead, if you haven't already, hop on YouTube, subscribe, like the videos, like the episodes. I'd love to have you be a part of that new experience with me. Until next time, have a blessed day, a wonderful week, and as always, live intuitively.
Thanks for listening to The Intuitive Therapist. If you like what you heard, the best compliment you can give us is to share this podcast with a friend, and be sure to give us some stars and a favorable review at Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen in.